Alrighty, we are recording. So I'll just give you guys a little bit of background. I've been a coach for 3.5 years, and I was a speech pathologist for 6 years in a hospital, and then I was an executive pharmaceutical rep for 16, and decided that I didn't want somebody to be in charge of me like that anymore, and I wanted to, be my own boss and be available for my kids more. I grew up in Gainesville, and Shay and I went to high school together. With one of the books I'm reading right now that was recommended from Jesse Reagan is called Building a Story Brand. And one of the things that the book really kind of drives home is team culture. And we really do have the best team in the entire network. I mean, it's amazing. And I messaged Shay and I was like, hey, if you ever need any support with team calls, I'm happy to do my part as a leader. And so she was like, well, it just so happens that I'm going to not be able to do the call this weekend. Would you like to do it? And I'm not as good as Shay at doing team calls because I haven't done as many as she has. But I think that if we all work together and aren't shy, then we can all grow within the next hour or so. So how many of y'all did the color wheel? No.
I've not done it yet.
No? Has anybody on the call done their color wheel? Speak up if you have.
I started mine. I haven't finished yet.
Okay. No big deal.
I've done it.
Oh, Sarah has?
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Hello, sorry, I was driving.
That's okay. Where are you that you're wearing a scarf?
In my car, but I'm on my driveway now, so it's like not illegal.
Oh, okay. Okay, so then do you mind if we use you as our example for today?
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Do you want me to give you a chance to are you going in the house or, do you want me to give you a chance to get settled?
No, that's fine. It's like a mile track, so it's fine.
Okay, so I actually was not on last week's call, but I went on last night and watched a little bit of it and saw how Shay, gave you guys the visual, and really that's the idea behind doing this whole exercise is, some people are more visual, some are auditory, just, going through the act of actually putting pieces of your story and your brand and who you are on that color wheel really helps you realize all the different topics that make you who you are. And I thought it would be, Shay and I thought it would be a good exercise for us to, hi Deanne, for us to practice figuring out how we can make what is important to us and meaningful to us and turn that into something that other people can connect with. So Sarah, if you don't mind sharing a couple of the topics that are on your color wheel, if you can remember them off the top of your head. And you're on mute now. Uh-oh, she froze. She's back. Okay, did you hear me, Sarah?
No, I didn't. But 2 minutes and I'll be home. So
okay.
Signal. So if I don't mind, and then I heard.
Okay, so let's let you get settled, and then we'll proceed from there. In the meantime, does anybody have any roadblocks that they've hit this week or anything in particular that they want to talk about that we can put our heads together as a team and work on?
I'm still hitting the price. People are moaning about the price.
Okay. Where along in the conversation does that come up?
Well, I never say how much it is in total. I always say how much it is per day. And then you can see I'm thinking about it. Oh, well, that's going to be over £100, isn't it? Yeah. I know I have a lady who has actually had it off me. She was my guinea pig. So she didn't buy the Shakeology. I bought it. We both did it together. And she loves it. She absolutely loves it. But she just says she can't afford it. Even though she knows it's done her knees good because it was helping her knees. And she lost 16 pounds in the first 4 weeks.
Wow.
So she knows how good it is, but she just hasn't got the money to buy it. And I keep saying to her, but you're the only one that's being really good at home and doing the dieting. The husband's not doing it. He's not bothered. You know, you should treat yourself too. You're looking after yourself, so you should do it. Do you know what I mean? Put some money aside and save up if you have to. And she knows. She said, I know, it's really good. I know, but just at the minute, Christmas is coming. This is what I'm getting as well. Christmas is coming.
So she could be someone who, I mean, her answer is not no.
No, she definitely wants it. It's just affording it at the minute.
And sometimes, you know, she's okay. So she lost 16 pounds in 4 weeks.
4 weeks, yeah.
That's insane. And she felt so much better as well. So it very well could be that she needs time to reach her pain point, you know, where she's like, holy cow, I'm achy again. I get up in the morning and my knees ache, or, you know, whatever her story is, or she starts to put weight back on. And, you know, I would imagine with a 16-pound weight loss, no matter how much you have to lose, that your clothes would feel better after.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I keep chipping. I'm chipping away. I just don't want to do it too much that she gets annoyed and's like, right, that's enough. Fine line, isn't there, between overstepping the mark and just chipping.
Oh, of course. So, I mean, if it were, you know, for me with someone like that, I would probably, I would probably not talk about it as much, and yet get her, you know, listen for those opportunities when you do talk to her for you to reinstate the value in Shakeology. You know, if she talks about putting weight on over the holidays, or, you know, needing extra income, is this, you know, what about you doing this and sharing it with others and making some extra money off of it? Mm-hmm. So anybody else? Becky, do you want to like chime in on, I mean, it sounds to me like Lisa has done a good job of building the value.
I think it's because it's new here as well, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's true.
The problem is, because people haven't really heard of it here, they're comparing it so much to things like Slim Fast.
Yeah.
They're just seeing it as like a glorified meal shake. I've been talking to my best mate about it this afternoon. Sorry you can't see my face. My stream on my phone's cracked, so the camera doesn't work.
Okay.
But he was saying, like, why would people pay that for a glorified Slim Fast? And I'm saying, well, look, it's not a glorified Slim Fast, because although people have it as a meal replacement, it's not. It's actually a nutrient-dense shake. It's designed to fill your body with all of the nutrients it needs for optimal performance. Mm-hmm. But people that aren't that sort of clued up on it, they just see it as a glorified Slim Fast, you know, that they can get something far cheaper, even though it's just a filler, even though it'll just fill them up and it won't give them what they need.
Right.
They're just seeing it as an expensive Slim Fast, because obviously it's not. People aren't, because it's new here, people aren't seeing the results that it's giving people. Whereas I suppose in America, because it's been around the block for a while, they know the name Shakeology and they know the name Beachbody.
Well, Brett, so, I assure you that there are plenty of people in the United States that think it's a glorified Slim Fast as well. So, you know,
what I'm saying, like in the UK, people are, because it's new, they don't really know what Shakeology and Beachbody are. So they may be possibly they're a bit sort of withdrawn to buying something they're not too sort of clued upon. Maybe, I don't know.
I'm
Okay,
the
so
British.
go ahead.
I'm the British. We're very pessimistic. Is that the word? We don't trust, new stuff.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to actually twist that. All right. And this is a great opportunity for y'all because there are no misconceptions except for skepticism, right? I mean, everybody's going to be skeptical. People, they don't know if they can trust you. And that's one of your jobs with how you market yourself and how you share is, you want people to get to know you, to like you, and to trust you. Because if they don't know you, like you, and trust you, then you have no chance of getting them to see the value in what you're talking about. Here in the U.S., we have, I meet people all the time that are like, oh, I drank Shakeology before, I hated it, it tasted terrible, or my coach was not, I'll come to find out that they had a coach that didn't give them any support whatsoever, and so I actually, some of us may have an uphill battle because we're like, no, that's really not how it should be. And so you've got the opportunity of starting fresh with these people. Lisa, it's a lot harder to, I don't know what's your friend's name that you were talking about?
Janet.
Okay. I don't know how this started out with Janet. So it may take some more time. But one of the things that as you get more experience doing this and feel more comfortable, you'll learn to ask a lot of questions up front that are going to give you a lot of leverage to help them see the value in this quote unquote overpriced Slim Fast. And I don't discount what you guys are up against because it is pricey. Is the value there? Is it worth it? Absolutely. I mean, it's hands down the healthiest thing someone's going to eat all day long. Mm-hmm. I met with a customer on Friday just very briefly, and I came highly recommended. And so she was like, okay, I'm going to try the Shakeology, but I got to tell you, I don't really like to eat processed foods. And so obviously I had some educating to do there. And when I met with her, I had the printout that has, the different proprietary blends. And I was sharing with her about adaptogens. And I was like, I don't know about you, but I haven't bought ashwagandha at the grocery store in ever, and she was like, that's so true. Look at all the amazing ingredients that are in this that I'm just not going to ever buy at the grocery store. So I know that Shay has been working with all of you, as well as, the US based Refinery people, on attraction marketing and, putting a little bit of mystery behind what it is that you are promoting, what you're sharing, so that, people don't have the opportunity to just go Google what you're talking about, because if they Google it, what's going to happen?
We'll see the price and go,
Yeah. And then you're your hill that was maybe at this grade just went and got way steeper. So I think that, like I said before, we have to let our audience, our target market, get to know us, get to like us, and get to trust us. They need to know, yeah, Lisa cares about me. She's not going to try and sell me crap that isn't really going to benefit me and, be good for my body. So I think that's probably a good segue into working with Sarah on one of her topics on the color wheel. Are you ready, girl? Oh, what, Becky?
For the price objection, usually, because I faced a lot, I still do, just because the area that I live in is very rural, and it's just not much money. So I try to break it down as to, if they went to the grocery store and they bought a month worth of breakfast or wherever they're going to fit it in, So if you fill your cart with a month of that food, how much would that cost you? Now, even though you just filled your cart with a month of all those foods, what you're not going to get, or very unlikely that you're going to get, are the 72 superfoods in Shakeology. It's just not, I mean, it's not going to happen. So once you can kind of swing it as in you're getting all of this in just one shot, and then you break down the price for them. So I never say 132 ever. I always break it down to it's a little over $4 a day. So for a little over $4 a day, you're going to get 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables. You're going to get 72 superfoods that I haven't been, me personally, I haven't been sick in over 4 years. So I haven't been to the doctor, had to take off work for that. So the amount of money it saved me, not to mention I just feel better. So I always use that as a way. And again, you break it down to them. And if you'll, I always divert from the price. Even if they ask me, I never give it to them until I get good conversation going back and forth. Are they having stomach issues? Are they having pains in their digestion? Their hair, their nails. I mean, those are all things that Shakeology help with because of the superfoods that are in it. So I always find out where and what the need is. And then once you kind of have them hooked into that conversation with, okay, I've got to have this at some point. Like for me, I had to, when I first started coaching, I had to clean houses to get my Shakeology every month. I was willing to do that because I knew the value. And so there was no way I was not going to go after it and do whatever I had to do to get that. So I don't know if that helps. I've dealt with a lot of price objection. I still do. So it's just, don't give them the price until you've built the value and what they need. And just put her on your follow-up list. I wouldn't go on and on, but I would just simply share your journey through you using your Shakeology, how it makes you feel. And by you sharing what it's doing for your life, if she's watching you, if you kind of keep on and check in with her about just life in general, you're adding value to her life. And she's going to keep coming back to you. So that's something that may help. I don't know.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, wait, Becky, don't mute yourself yet. How do you avoid the awkwardness when somebody asks you price and you don't answer the question? I think that's a great question for people that are new.
I don't feel like it's awkward because I'm asking them questions, and a lot of times when you're back and forth corresponding with somebody, you maybe miss a question or you just don't go answer a question, but you keep the conversation going. So I guess I don't feel awkward about not answering it. I just am so, I try to be so involved in what they need that I'm asking, I truly want to know where it is in your life, like what's going on with you. And I don't know. I never feel like that's awkward, Tracy.
So then probably what I'm hearing you say is you're not focused on the sale. You're not focused on getting to yes. What you're focusing on in that conversation is them. And if they really feel like you're listening to them, you're caring about what they're saying based on how you're responding to them. And if the line of questions that you're asking them are cohesive, then they're going to be like, wow, this chick really cares about me. And people do love to talk about themselves, right? Especially moms, because no one ever asks how we are. Sorry, Brett.
Build that value and gain the trust, because it's okay to be skeptical. I was skeptical. I mean, I researched the crap out of Shakeology before I didn't even buy it through Beachbody. I found a nurse in Gainesville and bought it through her. I mean, that's just straight up honest. I think it's okay to be skeptical. I think it's our job to show the value and how it works and how it can change their life and their health. And I think once they see the value in it, once someone sees the value in something, okay, for example, let's take Shakeology out of the mix. I see the value in the tennis shoes that I wear. I wear Brooks running shoe. It is the only running shoe that I will wear. And I see value in it. Because I see value in it, they are a little bit more pricey, but I get the value, like they work for me. I get my money's worth out of them. It doesn't matter if I have to pay $120 per pair, you know. I usually don't, but if I do, I'm going to do it because I see the value in it. So people see the value in anything, in their jeans, in their foods, in their whatever it is. Once you build the value and someone sees that, there's no way they're not going to get it. That's kind of how I feel.
Makes sense.
No, you're right.
I know.
There was something that you said though, and I was going to kind of thread it, and I lost my thought. It'll come back to me. All right, Sarah, are you ready? You're muted.
I know, yeah, sorry. It's because I'm making dinner and I was like, you'll hear all my packets opening.
Oh.
Multitasking life, it's fine.
Okay, so let me ask you, from your color wheel, what are some of the things that you wrote on it?
So I'm a bit of a mixed bag as a person. So it's a bit of a mixed bag as a wheel. I am a classical singer. So I put music and performing and teaching, all as three things, but all in the blue sections. So they were all sort of related.
Can you say that again, though? Back to the classical, because you said something and I didn't understand.
Oh yeah, so I'm an opera singer, but classical across the whole lot. So that's my one of my jobs.
And then you said something about teaching?
Yeah, I teach privately and in a school, but on a one-to-one basis. So I put all that in, music, performing and teaching. So because I love music anyway, I love listening to it. I love going to gigs. I'm a massive metalhead, which really surprises people because I sing opera, but it usually surprises the classical musicians rather than the metalheads. And then I got other things like motorsport and rugby, which Shay thought was hilarious. But I did used to play rugby. I don't play now because black eyes and classical concerts don't tend to go well together.
Okay.
And then food. I'm really into food, home cooking. So I was really cynical about Shakeology because I pretty much get everything I need out of my food, or so I thought. And it's fitted into my life for possibly different reasons. Well, obviously nutrition, now I know that, but from a running around doing massive loads of jobs and having to drive between places, it means I get a meal in the car as opposed to buying crap from a service station.
Healthiest darn fast food meal you're ever going to eat.
Yeah, exactly. And also not having to worry about the fact that I haven't had time to meal prep even. So if I'm working like 8:30 in the morning to 10:30 at night, the last thing I want to be doing is then coming home and trying to do meal prep, and I just want to get to bed. So yes, so stuff like that. So other things on my, let's get my photos back. Other things on my wheel are, I used to have a dog. I used to have 2 dogs, and the last one died nearly 2 years ago, and I'm still in mourning. So I kind of view myself as a dog mum, but without the dog. So I love animals, and I love being outdoors. I am a proper country girl. So like outdoors activities. I'm slightly addicted to exercise in various forms, which is why I'm a bit rubbish with Beachbody, because I won't stick to one program because I like to do different things. But that's my personality too. That's why I've never really fitted into one genre or one friendship group, because I like going off to motorsport and then playing rugby and then singing classical music and then being in the pub drinking gin, and generally they're not the same group of friends. So
okay. Well, you're not alone in the being a little ADD on the workout programs. I switch it up quite a bit myself. I know they say be a product of the product. Like, I can be a product of the product and do all kinds of different programs. All right, let's So are you using your love for music as a way to give your audience something to connect with?
Some of my musician friends are showing an interest for the same reason that I use Shakeology as a meal replacement or as a snack.
Okay.
A busy lifestyle. But not really. I know Shay sort of said a thing about, try and make that my USP, but
Wait, what's USP?
Unique selling point.
Oh, okay.
Not in a salesy way though. Because I deal with so many normos, as I refer to people that don't work in the music business.
What do you call them?
Normos.
Okay.
So normal people.
Got it.
9-to-5 jobs don't understand why I wouldn't want to just be employed and have security of sick pay, maternity leave, well, if I required that, holiday leave, blah, blah, blah. And why I work as many hours I do for probably less money than they do for doing 9-to-5. But it's just, I don't know, it's just something you have to do.
Okay, so, all right, so you've given me a thought. Why are you, and this is the whole part of this exercise, like pulling through parts of your color wheel that are going to give people something to connect with, and get to know you better. Why are you willing to give those things up? Why are you willing to give up security, work longer hours, make less pay? Why?
Because the feeling I get.
Okay.
It's just when I perform, I just absolutely love it. It's just a whole nother level. I've been really surprised by how much I love teaching, because I'm getting better now, I'm getting older, but I've never been particularly patient with children. And yet I love every single child that I teach, in spite of how infuriating some of them are. And equally with teaching adults, I love it on a different level. But I just get massive enjoyment out of it. And sitting at a desk organising MOT bookings, car parts, organising freight forwarding stuff, because I have more than one office-based job, it's all fine. And I love accounting, so because I'm probably OCD or something, and I like all the numbers to match up properly. But it's not, matching invoices is great and makes satisfying work, but not in the same way standing in front of people. And like, I made a lady cry at a concert the other day, and I was quite taken aback by it, and I still am. And equally, in a good way, by the way.
Yeah.
And equally, if I get someone in a lesson, they finally get what we've been working on. It just works for them. The satisfaction they get from themselves for their achievement is just, I don't know, it's just sets a fire in your belly, I guess. It's just another level.
Okay, so when I first asked you about, are you leveraging your love for music, I'm thinking, and if I'm incorrect, I apologize, but my impression was that you were wondering if I was asking, are you getting your music people to drink Shakeology? And that's not really what I was going for, although I would imagine that getting a cold and laryngitis is not a good thing when you're a singer, and people that drink Shakeology get sick far less often, so there's a selling point for you. But what you just shared with us is you love to give from your heart. When someone gets up on stage and has the presence to move someone to tears, you're giving of your heart and soul, right? Just like with teaching. I mean, if you're going to hang out with work with children, and yes, they can be infuriating, and yet it still fills your soul and makes you feel so good about what you're doing and makes you want to go back the next day and do it again. How can you share stories about that with your target market that's going to make them see that they like you, what were the things that I said? You need people to get to know you, to like you, and to trust you.
Yeah.
How are some of those stories, how can you use those in a sense that someone's not going to read it and say, so what? Because everything that you share really needs to pass the so what question. Now, I'm not saying so what by any means. I'm just for the purpose of the exercise, like, what would be your point in sharing things like that to help them feel more connected with you?
Who knows? Not me, clearly.
That's okay.
I guess, well, like hard work pays off or something cheesy and shit like that.
You're
an excellent pudding. I'm a brilliant interviewee.
No, I totally am putting you on the spot, and you're also making dinner. It's all good. Like, we can all chime in and help Sarah answer these questions too.
I think I don't know. I'm sort of, I don't see like my singing and stuff. You've just said it makes me a giver, and I just don't see it that way.
Really?
Yeah. I don't. I can't. I love it. It's like, seems really selfish.
Okay, so it feels so good to you that you have a hard time believing that it's also fueling somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever just met a stranger and they started talking to you about, let's say you meet someone and they're a metalhead. All right. And they start talking to you and they have no idea that you like heavy metal. Right. And so they tell you about, this concert that they went to and this group, and oh my gosh, I just freaking love that guy. He's amazing on whatever their instrument is. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I love this person. They are so me, and you feel that, that connection with them by sharing with others what music means to you, what performing means to you, what it does for you. That's going to make people like you and trust you and want to get to know you more. Just like if you were talking to the metalhead at the coffee shop, you're probably going to want to get their number and, friend them on Facebook and get to know them better, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
So that is why Shay had you do your color wheel, because you're so much more than a Beachbody coach. All right. You are Sarah, who is, sings classical music and loves heavy metal and teaches and doesn't want to work a desk job and is a dog mom that is still in mourning and you just happen to also have some amazing tools to help people live a healthier lifestyle. But they're not going to want your tools unless they know you and they feel connected to you. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it kind of puts things on a different level.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, letting people get to know you on a deeper level. So, because, health and fitness is a very personal thing. It's hard for someone to say, all right, I'm fat and I'm tired of it, so I'm going to call Tracy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for letting me use you as a guinea pig.
It's all right. Probably wasn't the best one, but you're welcome.
No, you were fantastic. Julie, do you have anything to add? Because you're super, you're a great listener and observant. Did I leave any holes? No?
I don't think so.
Okay.
The only thing and I had to step away because I had to take a call, so I might have missed something. When Lisa was sharing about being up kind of against a wall with the Shakeology and her customer who understands the value but doesn't feel like she can afford it in her budget. I've only done this once for a customer, and I know you have to be careful and know that it's the right fit, but I did at one point offer to look at their grocery bill to see if I could help them. So if that would be a natural thing, obviously you don't want to say, hey, let me see your grocery bill and I will show you how you can save $4. But if it's something that you feel like you're forming that relationship and it's something that kind of naturally comes up and you say it, obviously, in a way that's not going to offend them, use yourself as an example, because I do that all the time. Because my husband was like, no, we're not getting Shakeology. We have, 6 kids and we have all these bills. And then I had to show him how we could fit it in our budget before I was able to obviously pay it off by having my own customers. So those are the 2 things that helped me, or that have helped me, is offering to share how I worked it into my budget and looked at my grocery bill and saw how there was some room there that I could fit Shakeology and replace something else. And with the end goal, which I think you already talked about, Tracy and Lisa, was to teach them how to pay for their Shakeology by having their own customers, their own 3 customers. That's all.
No, and I appreciate you sharing that. So, like, using the feel, felt, found, like Julie has said, like, I know how you feel because I had to prove it to my husband that we could afford it, and this is how we were going to afford it, and this is how I felt, and this is what I found. So, and you might have been on your call, Jules, when Becky spoke up as well and shared some of the ways that she handles those objections, and she shared, like, living in a very rural area with not a lot of money. She's hit that wall several times. Thanks, girlfriend, for chiming in.
You're welcome.
So the exercise that we did with the color wheel, I know some of you can't see me, but I'm holding my hand in a circle, was just to kind of show you that you have so many pieces of who you are that are going to give your audience on Facebook. I'm assuming that you all are using Facebook as your main social media platform. If you're not, that's fine. You can transfer this to any platform, but you have so many different conversation and topics that you can share that are going to give people something to connect with you on. And, if you were to read, say, like, for instance, maybe a month ago, I shared a reverse transformation of myself. Years ago, right before I did a Savage race, when I literally had a 6-pack, to today, I'd rather look like I did when I did the Savage race a while ago. And it was really hard for me to share that because I didn't want people to know how hard I am on myself. And I didn't, and I'm embarrassed that I haven't been able to get back down to that weight. And I was worried that people were going to judge me. And, I shared all of that in the post, and I had people come out of the woodwork and comment, people that I was like, wow, I didn't even realize they were following me. And what I did by sharing my heart and my vulnerability and what it really meant to me to put those pictures up, and I created a string through the internet to connect myself to so many people with a post like that, where they really could see my heart and how it had affected me. And me asking Sarah all those questions about music, I really was trying to get her to connect with the so what, like, so you like classical music, so you teach, but there's so much more to it than that. And when you share these bits and pieces of your life with the people that are following you, you kind of always want to ask yourself, so what? Like, why is this going to mean something to someone? And how can I word this where someone's going to be like, ooh, I like her. I totally get what she just said. Like, I'm going to come back to her page again, or, what have you. Does that make sense? Thumbs up. Naomi? Okay. So anything else, any other roadblocks or ideas anybody wants to share? It's okay if you don't. No. What do y'all have planned for the week? Are y'all ready for the week?
Luckily, I've got no hairdressing clients this week, so I am focused on my Jessie Reagan training.
That's exciting.
Very good. I'm glad that I did it.
Now, since you're doing Jessie Reagan, then I'm assuming you have a like page. Do you have stuff scheduled for the week?
No, I normally do that after the call tonight.
Okay.
Do that later, but I've just got 10 extra likes now because I've put my thing up, so it's working.
That's so awesome. It's so exciting when you implement a new training and you see it help, you know?
Yeah.
Because God, I've done enough trainings where it didn't do anything for my business.
Yeah, no, it is. It's really good. I'm really glad that I've decided to do it. So I'll be doing that, and then obviously do my posts and teaching my class. I do a kettlebell class, so I'll be teaching that, and I do an insanity class as well now. I've just started with that. So
you teach it?
Yeah, just started last week.
That's exciting. Did you just get certified?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. So busy.
So I will share. It's funny. I was on my bike today, and one of our colleagues always says that she does all her best thinking in the shower. I do all my best thinking on my bicycle. Like, I sent myself so many Voxers today while I was on my bike, all of which sound like an obscene phone call because I was riding into a headwind and like, but a couple ideas that I'll share. Been listening to a really great podcast from the Story Brand guys. Julie turned me on to the podcast, and I was like, you know, this week, in addition to focusing on giving thanks, I'm also going to talk. I plan on talking a lot about, you know, where you and this is verbiage from the podcast. You know, you're at a crossroads. You know, we all ate like garbage over. Do y'all celebrate Thanksgiving? No. Oh, well, this isn't going to really work for y'all. But, you know, over here in the U.S., and I'm sorry I didn't know that, I'm a little challenged when it comes to culture. Does it count that my husband speaks 3 languages, though? He makes up for it. But, you know, are you going to stay on the course that you have found yourself on over Thanksgiving weekend, where, you know, we're with family and the holidays are coming up and we're starting to eat like garbage, you know, or are you going to get it together and take care of you? And I plan on really talking to my avatar about why she's worth it. You know, you are worth buying that bag of Shakeology, Janet. I'm talking, you know, to your girl, Lisa. You are the glue that holds the family together. You are the one that's going to give your family an amazing Christmas. So yeah, you're on a budget, but what happens when Janet's wheels fall off? You know, the whole family kind of goes to hell in a handbasket. And, you know, so like I plan on speaking to my avatar in that way, like, you know, don't wait until January, you know, don't, you know, be different and make the decision to implement changes now. You know, it doesn't have to be ripping off the entire Band-Aid and going all in. It could be a little bit, you know, every day or what have you. So those are my plans. And I just thought I'd share that with y'all to maybe plant some ideas for you. And that's really it. Does anybody have anything?
Oh, God.
No? Okay, wait. I'm going to take a screenshot, and I'm going to warn you so you can smile. Hang on. Miami's like, let me get the camera at a good angle. All right, 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Sarah, did you put us in a cupboard? Hang on.
Under it.
Under the cupboard.
Yeah.
Like Harry Potter.
I charge my phone, so I balance
okay.
the charger, and this is the utility cupboard because I don't have a kitchen at the moment, so I utility.
Hey girl, you're making it work. I love it. And thank you for being my guinea pig today. I hope I didn't make you feel self-conscious.
No. I just I think the recording is going to be hilarious, and everyone that watches back is going to be like, "Why did you pick
Oh my.
Oh no! Stop it. All right. Well,
I love your sweater. I love your sweater, Sarah.
Thank you.
all right, guys. Have a lovely day or evening.
Thanks, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.